In the spiritual community, there are a lot of scammers these days. People pretending to be healers and of the light, but actually with very dark intention. And I feel it very important to bring awareness to this so no one else gets hurt like me. I was targeted by my abuser, Joseph Pledger, online. He prefers the title Jodine because it sounds more like a celebrity. He chooses to go by Jodine because he is sure that one day he'll be a star. His greatest dream is to be an actor, and actually, he lives that dream every single day because he is nothing like the person he presents himself to be. I feel it my responsibility to speak this truth because I am not his first victim, but I pray to God that I will be his last. He targeted me online right after my ex and I divorced, and my heart was so broken, and my children's hearts were broken. He love-bombed all of us and pretended to care about the massive injustice we all endured. But instead of making anything better, he just made it worse and showed my children and I just how ugly this world can be. His social circle is actually very small. The only people he has in his life are his children that are too afraid to stand up to him. While I was with him, he did have one child that stood up to him, and when she did, he got infuriated, called her a narcissist, and he stole packages that she actually accidentally had sent to the home, and he refused to go to her nursing school graduation. To try to make a point to the whole family, look, see what happens when you stand up to me? And it went even deeper than that. He refused to allow his youngest daughter to even talk to her, and that shattered her heart. Because if there's unity in standing up to him, he loses his power, and he's not going to allow that. They say if you want to know the true essence of a person, pay attention to how they treat those closest to them, not the show they put on for everyone else. And there is not one heart in his home that is not bleeding because of his narcissistic personality. He invited me into his home, said he loved me, wanted to have this relationship with me, but really he just wanted someone to play the role of mother for his children. But I ended up being responsible to take care of everything for him too. He spent all of his time scrolling on his phone and rewatching videos that he posted of himself. He was charming at first, but things got dark really quick. His arrogance started showing through. He would talk bad about his own children. And pretty much everyone he came into contact with, people at the gym, people that he played pickleball with, he pretty much had horrible things to say about everyone, especially his ex-girlfriend, who was a terrible narcissist. That's what he said anyway. I quickly learned that he actually didn't want a relationship with me. He wanted control. This is a very common narcissistic tactic that they use. He came into our lives acting like a protector, a guide, a supporter, and even presented himself as a savior for us. But the reality was that he was just laying a foundation to make us feel like we need to submit to his authority and control. In this relationship, I started losing myself and my ability to think and act for myself. He had something to say about pretty much everything. He took over the wheel of my life and I didn't even realize it. When the rose-colored glasses fell and I started waking up to what was actually going on and I stood up for myself, that is where my punishment began. He was no longer the sweet, kind, caring, compassionate man he presents himself to be. His mask fell. His eyes were as empty as his words. Everything was peachy keen while I was quiet, but when I stood up and had a boundary and said no, that's when cold, punishing, and ruthless behavior started coming out of this man. This man is online presenting himself as a spiritual healer, teacher, and guide, but he is far from light. He's very, very dark. And he targets people who are vulnerable. We recently went to court because he stole $10,000 from me and because he abused my child, and he got away with all of it. While I was with him, he hit my child to the ground twice, pushing his neck with his hand over his throat, while I was in the background screaming, "Do not touch my child." He told the judge that I wanted him to do that. He has a herd of dogs that he lets into his home daily. They destroy the floors and they shit on the floors. But he told the judge that my dog ruined them and that I needed to replace all of them. He tried to take over my business and claim my unique ideas and way of reading tarot as his own, lying to everyone that he's original. He said he loved me so he could use me. This man knew that I had crippling, debilitating chronic pain due to rheumatoid arthritis, and he said to me that if I had sex with him, it would help me heal faster. That is how grandiose and egotistical this man is. He told me I was ugly and gave me a makeover I didn't ask for, and when I left him, he demanded that I pay for all the hideous clothes he bought me. I honestly was scared to stay in his home because of how ruthless and cold he had become. It was like night and day. This man is nothing that he presents himself to be. So I stayed up all night, even though I was so sick. I stayed up all night and packed everything that we own into my car so my children and I could leave first thing in the morning. And it's as we were leaving that he stole the $10,000. But it's not only that. After we left, he tracked my car to our new home and started coming over often, banging on the door like I was even going to answer. And he kept leaving letters on my door, and I was scared to let my children play in the yard. This guy is mentally unstable. He distorts reality because for him, reality is distorted. He has done everything in his power to punish me for leaving him, because who has the audacity to leave someone as incredible as he is? He knew how much trouble I was in with my chronic illness, and that it would be very difficult for me to get a job and to work. He stole $10,000 from me, and then he has worked day in and day out to slander me online and take down my business. A business that I have been working to build from the ground up for 5 years. All of this behavior combined led my children and I to end up in a women's shelter. This man is evil. Please, if you are following him, if you listen to him, please take care of yourself, protect yourself, and don't fall for the trap.